We're 6 o'clock, so I'm going to call us to order. In a minute, I'll invite everyone to stand for O Canada. For a moment of silent meditation, I'd encourage you to keep John Edwards' youngest granddaughter, Frances, in mind. Little Frances had a very serious accident on Sunday, and I think it would be appreciated if we kept John and little Frances and their family in our thoughts. If you could stand for O Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us common. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. We hope for strength and healing to little Frances and to John and to the whole Edwards family. Attendance, Madam Clerk.
We have all in attendance, Your Worship.
Thank you. And I should just check, Councillor Torrance, you can hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful, and we can hear you. Perfect.
Perfect.
Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you. We have the approval of the agenda and approval of the minutes. The motion is that the agenda and minutes be approved as presented. Is there a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Lowe. Were there any errors or omissions in the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you very much. That carries. And this brings us to the delegation from Lanark County Child and Youth Services. So welcome, Sharon.
Saying I'm a teacher for 30 years old stood, so this is unusual to sit down. I'm not sure if I'm able to talk sitting down.
Whatever is most comfortable. You're welcome to use the podium as well. We find a lot of people like just to sit around the table with us. So the button just to the right.
Yeah, like she showed.
There you
me.
go.
Of course.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much for making me feel so welcome. And also thank you for allowing me to change my date. 2 weeks ago was quite a snowstorm and the road from Toledo wasn't very good. So I had a lovely drive up tonight. So I appreciate that. So I'm here this evening just to talk to you. You don't have to decide anything. It's nothing like that. It's just to talk to you a little bit about the Lanark County Child and Youth Services Collaborative, the Municipal Toolkit, and the Developmental Asset Awards. So my name is Sharon Halliday, and I'm the coordinator of the Lanark County Child and Youth Services Collaborative. At one time, we were called the Lanark County Planning Table, and I actually took over from Jane Torrance. I was actually looking forward to seeing her this evening. I'm sorry that she's sick. anyhow, we changed the name because I know after a year I was there and I thought, we've never planned anything. Why are we called a planning table? It's all about collaborating. So you can see that our vision and mission are there, but really it's groups of agencies and people in the community that have anything to do with children and youth coming together once a month and just sharing ideas, collaborating, talking, really trying not to reinvent the wheel. We know we're in a small community, small rural area, and it's so much more helpful if you know someone down the road is doing the same thing you are and you can come together. So really that is what we do. We have a lot of discussions. We talk together about case studies, scenarios. We have a work plan that that comes together in June after we do a survey. And these people are really good. They actually answer the surveys. I've never enjoyed doing surveys, but they give me lots of ideas about things that they're interested in. And our priorities are information sharing, collaboration and planning, community education and advocacy. Now, not very often we have to do a letter, but if we do, if there's something, I think there's been 4 of them, when you have 40 agencies' names on it, it's a lot more powerful than one. So it's really working together to do that. We meet monthly, except in the summer, and you are welcome to join us anytime. We'd be glad to have you as a guest. Now we can actually meet in person most of the time, which is wonderful, and I provide the snacks, so that's a real incentive. But yeah, good at fudge making, one at Delta Fair, but we'll not get into that. But anyway, I didn't try Perth. Anyhow, we come together and have that opportunity to talk, and it's so much better to be able to be face-to-face and chat with each other about concerns. So anytime you're welcome to come. It's at the Family and Children's Services office in Smiths Falls every second Thursday. Now, the municipal toolkit, it was something that they had years ago, but they've come back out again with. And the toolkit's developed, it was developed by our group, the collaborative, but also with every kid in our community. That is the group in the south that, south, not that far south, Brockville, but the group that is very similar to us with the same sort of mandate. But it's interesting because when I started with the collaborative, not very often Lanark, Leeds, and Grenville did things together. But now, every so often, we are doing things together. And one example is, I should have mentioned it with the collaborative, we do have a new subcommittee, and it's on community safety, and we're working on a crisis response in response to the murder of Reese Stanzel in Perth, coming up with a good communication policy, because we know that when we leave it to social media, things get out of hand pretty quickly. So this way there would be like what happens after 1 hour, what happens after 2 hours, that sort of thing. So anyhow, in this particular situation, the municipal toolkit, we did work together on it, and the health unit was a huge support. The idea of this toolkit that you have is making sure that you're thinking about children, youth, and families in the decisions that you make. Now, I was quite impressed, with your announcement at the beginning, considering a child in your area. So I can tell you've got good hearts here, and you're thinking about children. And even I was principal of a high school and elementary school, and often, you're being pulled a million directions. But really, my line in the sand was, is this good for the kids? And if it wasn't, then we weren't doing it. So when I look at your website and so forth, I'm looking for kids and their families and what's being considered. And that's what this municipal toolkit's about. It's just giving ideas, things that municipalities are doing in other areas. Again, don't reinvent the wheel. If somebody else has got a good idea, steal it. No, find out about it. That's the good thing. Okay, so it's also, the idea is to elevate the idea of developmental assets, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But we're hoping that, when you're considering the kids, they're going to want to stay here, live here, and pay taxes in the future. That's really what it's all about, if they feel welcome in your municipality. So the key municipality strategies is looking for giving kids, youth, a voice. Are there opportunities for that in your township? Celebrating and recognizing youth success. I saw the award that you have for inspiring youth, the inspirational youth in your municipality. So are there opportunities for that? Just even outside of school, where do those things happen? providing or supporting youth the opportunities to connect with other youth. I remember, it seems like 100 years ago, but I used to be part of Junior Farmers and came up to Almont and baseball tournaments in Pakenham. That opportunity to meet good people in good areas and have interests that you do and have fun, like good, healthy fun. And the last one is celebrating, number 4 is giving opportunities to connect with community members. I was just talking to Ricky about that and how sometimes just some little thing that you say or do that a child will remember the rest of their life. So imagine, the opportunity to give them time or even listening, those sorts of things. Are there opportunities for kids in your area to be able to talk to adults, connect with adults? Again, when I think of Junior Farmers and I think of all the leaders that were there and gave up their weekends to spend with us playing baseball, like, can you imagine? But they did, and they made us actually feel like they wanted to be there too, and that's even better. But it's just those people to bounce ideas off of, which I found in schools all the time. The high school kids, you would think they wouldn't want anything to do with you. They're desperate to talk to you. They just want to share their ideas, or even if they're silly, to be able to feel like they're part of the community. And celebrating the Community Asset Builders Awards. So assets basically are what makes good kids. And I know you've probably had presentations by the Lanark County Lanark County Planet Youth that talks about, making sure that we've got good places for kids. Assets are all those things that make good kids. And the more assets you have, the better opportunities you have, the better you're going to do and hopefully not get into trouble. So external assets, those supports that we talked about, the boundaries, the expectations, but also the internal assets, the way they feel about themselves, feeling good that they matter. So what am I asking for? That you consider the municipal toolkit that I've sent you, making sure that, some of those ideas you might want to steal from others, but also, let us know and we'll put some of your ideas forward too. Consider coming to one of our collaborative meetings. It would be really great to have municipalities, like the important people at the table too, that make the decisions. And then the last one is, last year we had our first Lanark County Developmental Asset Award winners, and we celebrated it at the county, and they have welcomed us back again. And I know that there were a few of you at it. And it's just one of those really good, feel-good nights. Like, that's what it is. They had it in Brockville. They've had it a number of years with Leeds in Grenville, and they had about 38 people at their awards in June. We had 8, which was great for a start. And again, it doesn't have to be some huge, big thing. It can just be someone who's made a difference in a child's life. I know I nominated my grandson nominated as bus driver. He's 4. And she was lovely. We did this little video. It was so cute. But anyway, he just said, she always finds my mitts. And when you're 4, you go home, your mother's like, where's your mitts? She always found them for him before they got off the bus, just being cared for. And in the picture there, there's teachers, there's karate instructors, and there's even the gentleman in the middle there that was the crossing guard in Smiths Falls. If you ever went through, and he always waved at you when you went through Smiths Falls. He waved and waved for years. And just the difference, even as adults, it makes when you see somebody waving or smiling to you. So it doesn't have to be something spectacular. Just think of the good people in your community that just are kind to kids and make a difference in their lives. So I'll be sending that package out. I believe it's going to be April 7th. So I'm hoping that you will share it then with others and talk to your families at home. I know I got a hold of my sisters and everybody else, do you know anybody? And it's really surprising. And for those people, they often don't realize the impact they've had. My other grandson he nominated a volunteer at his school, and really that's part of the reason he ended up finishing school, because she was always there and checking on him. And when I called her to say, is it all right if I nominate you? I said, hello. She was just bawling her eyes out and said, I never did anything. And I said, you have no idea what you've done for him. It's such a huge impact. So that's my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to take them, and hoping that you will consider joining us for a meeting and also nominating someone for the Developmental Asset Awards.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the presentation, Sharon. I'm sure that there's going to be some questions and some comments around the table.
Oh, there's Jane.
Yeah, Jane's online. There she is.
Do you want me to go first, Krista?
Sure, if you'd like to.
Sorry. Well, Sharon, I'm really sorry that I can't be with you tonight, but
Aw, me too.
I didn't want to share my germs with the whole council chamber, but you're doing a great job. It's not an easy one, but when you think about collaboration for the best outcomes of kids, I think that it's a testament to the work you're doing. That we've got a great set of children and youth in Lanark County, and they all know how to work. The organizations that serve them know how to work together. I'm really happy to see the Developmental Asset Awards come to Lanark County. We know that they've been long-standing in Leeds and Grenville under Every Kid in Our Communities, which spearheaded them for a long time. And so it speaks to me of the collaborative work you're doing with Every Kid. So kudos to you. And I look forward to seeing that package because I know lots of people that we could nominate. My question is that who do you want the nominations from? Can it be from counselors? Can
Oh,
it be from
absolutely.
anybody? Or is there a certain profile of nominees that you're looking for?
No, anybody can nominate someone. Just, I mean, your good judgment and who's making a difference. And it is really special if it's a child that nominates, because even asking your kids or your grandkids, like, who's a special person who makes a difference in your life? And that's what I did with my grandkids, and that's how this came about. And they can tell, kids know who's good to them and who's not, and they can tell you pretty quickly, and the difference that they're making. So we'd be very glad to have counselors or any of your constituents or any of your family members, anybody at all. We'd be glad to have them nominated and celebrated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Torrance. Any questions or comments? Councillor Ferguson and then Councillor Holmes.
Yes, thank you very much. Interesting. Who funds you? How do you get your funding?
It's through
Because you're busy.
Yes, yes, and I work 14 hours a week, so that's what they pay me for. But it's through the Ministry of Community and Social Services, and then all of it doesn't cost anything for the agencies to be involved. So, but the funding is actually through Open Doors. So my card, everything, my email is through Open Doors. I say I work there, but I don't actually work there. So that's how it
Good.
operates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Holmes?
Thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And I have a question. Did you say there was 40 agencies involved?
Yes. Yeah,
That's really good to know.
it is.
That there is that type of involvement, and
Mhm.
I'd be happy to join you someday.
All right. Well, you just let me know and I'll send you the invite and get the fudge ready.
Okay, I love fudge. Maple.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Any other comments? Deputy Mayor and then Councillor Suter.
Just on the award ceremony, it's great to see kids nominated. They're proud as peacocks when they're nominated for something, and when they see recognition from adults, it's really overwhelming.
Mhm.
So good luck with all your projects, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you. Well, it's nice for them to be kind of in the driver's seat in this case. Like, they're the ones who are doing the nomination and they're the ones who present at it. So it's nice to see, because it
Really.
gives them an ownership of it, really.
Thank you.
Councillor Suter.
Could you tell me again when and where the meetings are?
They're every second Thursday in Smiths Falls from 9:30 to 11:30 at the Family and Children's Services Building. It's the one that's just outside of Smiths Falls heading toward Brockville. It was the Education Center at one time, just on the left-hand side out past the mall. So on the Brockville Highway.
Golf Club Road. corner?
Right, there you go, right in the corner, Eric Hutchison Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see who's there and what we talk about. And there, when we get together, we always have a discussion item or a case study. We've talked about even the services. What does your agency offer for people that are experiencing poverty, homelessness? And it's, you know, you had no idea that this agency had this and this had this. And we even had we had one about how do you keep your staff and your volunteers safe? And again, so many different ideas. So it's really good to have a chance to talk to each other.
Okay, good. first and third Thursdays,
The,
second and fourth,
no, just once a month, just the
Just once.
second. Yep, the
second.
second.
Okay, good, because I'd really like to go.
Oh, my goodness, I am thrilled to hear
Yeah,
that.
I really
Yeah.
would like to go.
Okay, well, we have my contact information and.
I'll
All
drive.
right.
There we go.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Good people up here, I tell you.
Was there anything else, Councilor?
Well,
Sutton?
yes,
Yep.
partly I really would like to go because in some cases, I think on an organizational level, it's getting harder to connect with young people,
Mhm.
particularly between 10 and 17. And the advent of social media, the advent of gaming, the advent of that, plus the clawback of both intramural and intercollegiate sports and events and clubs.
Yeah.
I was very surprised when I discovered that, yes, because of busing,
Mhm.
there's a real reduction in what's offered.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it makes it really
And,
tough.
Yes, and some of the statistics that you've cited in your toolkit are rather depressing.
Mhm.
You know, the fact that one kid in 3 likes school, one kid hates it, and the other, well,
Mhm.
iffy.
Mhm.
I mean, there were always kids who had problems, who got missed, who felt alienated. But that's a very high percentage.
And it's that feeling that, I mean, lots of people, being a principal, also a mother, that there were days they didn't want to go to school, but if there was oftentimes it was an adult that was looking for them and spoke to them when they come through the door. I know as principal, I tried to speak to every kid as they came through the door and call them by name. And hopefully that made a difference. You know, they knew you were watching for them. And when they weren't there, you asked them the next day, I noticed you weren't here.
Yeah.
So it makes it feel like they matter. And that's really what we all want.
Thank you.
Councilor Holmes, you had a follow-up? Oh,
I have one more question talking about, adults and, kids not wanting to go to school. Is bullying still a problem in the schools, do you think? Or are you aware of?
Yes,
Yeah.
there always will be. I
Yeah.
don't know. I could do another whole presentation on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always trying to make people feel welcome and included. And that is one of the committees we have, as well as the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, but
Mhm.
there's still
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I live in a farm and I watch animals, and sometimes I don't think there's much difference in the way that the animals line up to get to the trough. Really, there's always going to be someone that's going to push you out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
I live in a farm too, and I see it every day too.
oh
but-
yeah.
But I really feel for children. Like I know a young woman, I know her mother, not from Mississippi Mills, but she actually had to change school, and like she's in grade 4.
Mhm.
So I just, wonder if
Yeah.
what type of an impact we can make on that as adults even.
But oftentimes we look at the bully and we're dealing with the bully, but really it's the victim and trying to help them, because if they're they have a profile of being victimized, then when they go to the next school, it's not going to make that much difference because they'll be
Yeah.
picked on again. So
Yeah.
it's building them up, and that's what this is
Yeah.
all about, is making them have the strength to
Yeah.
be able to stand up for themselves. It's a
Exactly.
lot of it.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Very, very glad to be here. All right, thank you.
well, we appreciate your time very much, Sharon. And I think if you can pass along information about how nominations can happen, if you pass along to our clerks, there's quite a few here that I think are already making lists in their minds. And any information you can share too about upcoming meetings and how we might be involved either as a group or as individuals. I think there's a lot of keenness to support the work you're doing. Thanks very much, Sharon. All right, so our recommended motion is that the delegation from Sharon Halliday at the Lanark County Child and Youth Services Collaborative be received as information. You're a mover and seconder for the motion. Thank you, Councillor Suter and Councillor Torrance. All in favor of that motion? Thank you. That carries. Thanks again, Sharon. Drive safe. Good night. All right, so we have a public meeting this evening. And we have our Director of Development Services, Melanie Knight, here to walk us through this application. And do we have registers? No? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll begin with the preamble for the public meeting. In accordance with Section 34 of the Planning Act, before a decision is made by an approval authority, the approval authority shall ensure that a public meeting is held. This is a statutory public meeting for the purpose of giving the public the opportunity to make submissions with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment. If a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the municipality of Mississippi Mills to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at the public meeting or make written submissions to the municipality of Mississippi Mills before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. If a person or public body does not provide written submissions or participate in the hearing, the council may proceed in your absence and you will not be entitled to any further notice of the proceedings. It is the practice of this council, after hearing all evidence, to make a decision in public to approve, deny, or defer a zoning bylaw amendment. Persons taking part in the public meeting and wishing a copy of the decision must make a written request to the assigned planner. Persons or public bodies were asked to pre-register with the planning department with their name and address to make comments. Oral and written submissions will be accepted following the public meeting. So I'll be providing a brief overview of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment. There is nobody registered to speak, and we have not received any comments to date on this application. So this is a municipally initiated zoning bylaw amendment to correct some provisions in the zoning bylaw. I would call this a correction amendment as well as a bit of an administrative amendment. So there's two main sections for the amendments. The first one is to amend our what's called permitted projections into required yards. That section regulates the projection of decks and porches and balconies into yards, so into front yards, rear yards, and exterior side yards. And the amendment that I'll share on the screen in the next slide has the highlighted changes, which essentially is building in some more flexible projections, specifically for some newer provisions that we have in the zoning bylaw that we've been added over the years to reflect some of the newer developments. So those would be pertaining to the projections of front and exterior side yards specifically. The other main purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment is to make corrections to section numbers and correct schedules, which have to do with existing site-specific zones. So those were attached as the draft bylaw, very detailed, lots of different provisions, but the actual details of the zones are not changing. It's only the section numbers and then the symbols on the maps. So on the screen here, the highlighted two clauses are the two clauses that are proposed to be added to the zoning bylaw and to, like I said, to allow a little bit more flexibility in terms of projections for front porches as both into the front yard and the exterior side yard. Specifically, just a recognition that some of our front yard setbacks are less than what they used to be in the zoning bylaw, keeping in mind the zoning bylaw was passed in 2011. And the same with the exterior side yard setbacks. So we have certain developments where the exterior side yard setback is less than what was originally in the zoning bylaw. And so we're just adding in some provisions to make it more flexible. The exterior side yard projections also is a example of how the building of new developments has changed. So you'll see in a lot of the newer subdivisions and exterior side yards, some developers will actually have side yard entries and side yard porches. And so that one of the purposes of adding the projection for exterior side yard is to be able to allow those side yard porches. That concludes my presentation. We are here at the public meeting. If we do not receive any objections to the public meeting, this would be likely one of the first examples of a a zoning bylaw amendment with delegated authority. And so the actual physical bylaw may be on the council agenda at the following next council meeting in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. And because we have no registered speakers, thank you. Sorry, my brain turned off for a moment there. This will conclude the public meeting, but thank you very much for the presentation and information on it. So we're going to move ahead to the committee of the whole report. This is on page 35 of your agenda package. Are any of these items one that a member would like to have a separate vote or discussion on? No, not seeing so. Is there a mover and seconder to approve the committee of the whole motions from our last meeting? Thank you, Councillor Ferguson, and thank you, Deputy Mayor. So our motion is that council approve the committee of the whole motions from the February 10th, 2026 meeting. Been moved and seconded. I'm seeing no discussion. So all in favor? Thank you very much, folks. That carries. And under the council report, we have one municipal resolution, and this was pulled for support by Councillor Torrance at our last meeting. Councillor Torrance, would you like to move the motion?
I would, please. Yes.
Thank you. So our motion is that the following municipal resolution be received as information. I guess we only have the one, and that item M1A be pulled for support, which is the OMERS governance changes regarding Bill 68. It's been moved by Councillor Torrance. Is there a seconder for the motion? Moved by Councillor Suter. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you very much. That carries. And we do have a proclamation. It's that March 18th is World Young Rheumatic Disease Day. Is there a mover and seconder for the proclamation? Moved by Councillor Holmes, seconded by Councillor Suter. Any comments? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of that motion? Thank you very much. And on to J3, we have two time-sensitive items. The first is regarding the Joint Compliance Audit Committee. I'm not sure that there's anything you want to say additional to what's in the report. It's pretty straight ahead.
Yeah, it's a legislative requirement.
And we've used the same group for the last 4 elections, so.
It's not the same group, we just joined.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
the same group of municipalities is what I'm trying to say. There we go. Group of municipalities, not a group of committee members. Thank you for clarifying. Made sense in my head. Are there any questions about the recommendation? Councillor Suter.
Well, having read through it, the membership requirements for applicants or people who sit on this committee are very high. You're looking for people in the legal field, in accounting fields, in professional fields, and you're offering a per diem of $150 a day. Strikes me that that's a bit low for people from professional fields. Having said that, have you had any trouble in the past attracting people who would like to serve on this committee?
We have not had issues filling the committee. We typically find retired lawyers or accountants. There's already been a few who have reached out showing interest in being on this. I will also say that since I've been here, we've never had to actually call the Compliance Audit Committee to sit. It's a requirement under the Elections Act, but the only time they are called is if there is a complaint about a candidate's financial reportings. So I'm going to knock on wood now, but no, we haven't had any issues getting members to sit on the committee.
Well, that's very public spirited.
Councillor Suter, would you like to move the motion?
Certainly, I would like to move a motion as printed
Wonderful.
that we approve the municipality's membership in the Joint Lanark County Compliance Audit Committee, and that a recommendation for committee appointments be brought forward for approval in due course. Is that what I'm supposed to be
That's
doing?
perfect. Thank you. Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor Holmes, thank you very much. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Thank you, that carries. And our second time sensitive item is a new affordable housing partnership with Lanark Community Alliance. Are there any high points you want to make to the report that had been attached?
No, Mayor,
Let's
I'm
go to
just
the-
at your leisure for any
Okay.
questions.
Okay, so our motion is that council direct the CAO to sign the memorandum of understanding with Lanark Community Alliance for the development of affordable housing on the municipally owned lands at the southeast corner of Adelaide Street and McDermott Street with a term of 4 years, similar in effect to attachment B. Is there a mover and seconder for, the clerk is not okay with the motion?
No, I'm okay with it. When do you need this MOU signed, just knowing Ken's away on holiday until next week?
Oh,
If we could potentially insert or designate into the motion, that would be fantastic.
What I was
Okay.
thinking. Or you can just change CAO and say clerk.
to the
Make it
clerk?
work.
Seems like a clerk kind of thing to do anyway. Okay, so it's not been moved, so we're just going to strike CAO and insert clerk instead due to the time sensitivity of this matter. So we'll be directing the clerk to sign the MOU. Is there a mover and seconder for the motion? Counselor Holmes, thank you. And Counselor Lowe, any discussion or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you very much. That is approved, and thank you, that was a good catch. All right, we're on to bylaws. There's just the one, that's the terms of reference for the Election Compliance Audit Committee. Is there a mover and seconder for the motion, please? Moved by Councillor Ferguson and seconded by Councillor Holmes, that bylaw 26-013, being a bylaw to adopt the joint Lanark County 2026 Election Compliance Audit Committee terms of reference be taken as read, passed, signed, and sealed in open council. It's been moved and seconded. Oh, it's been moved and seconded. Did you have any questions? You just wanted to vote. All right, all in favor. Thank you very much. Announcements and invitations. Anything anyone wants to point to? Yes, Councillor Torrance.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the Day of the Girl is coming up, and on Saturday the 7th of March, there's a pancake breakfast at the Legion from 8 to 11 to celebrate this. And then there's I've just sent the message to Casey, but there's a tournament, a girls' tournament on the 8th, and we're looking for if anyone wanted to sponsor a basketball for the tournament, or just it goes on the wall. I sponsored one personally, but I would ask if any of my fellow female counselors would like to also sponsor a ball in appreciation of Day of the Girl.
Oh, it's great. Can you send that information? Did you say you sent all of that?
I just sent it to Casey
Perfect.
now, and she can circulate it. But it's just a very youth positive and female positive thing to do. I thought was a really great opportunity for us.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. I'd be happy to join you on that.
Thank you.
Any other announcements or invitations? Councillor Ferguson.
How many balls do they need?
I didn't ask that question. I didn't ask how much. It's just I think it'll be a ball that gets put up on the wall, Denny, like a paper cutout is what it's going to be. They're not actually looking for balls themselves. It's a way to raise money. So,
All right. Okay, thank you.
Otherwise, I know you know a guy maybe who could get us a bunch of basketballs, but anyway.
Any other announcements or invitations? No. All right. So we will be moving into closed session. We have one item that we'll be discussing in camera. Our motion is that council enter into an in-camera session at 6:39 as per proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. This is Municipal Act Section 2392C, and it's regarding to Industrial Drive. Is there a mover and seconder for the motion to move into closed session? Thank you, Councillor Ferguson and Councillor Suter. All in favor? Thank you. Oh, thanks, Mary Lou.
What time are we returning?
I haven't done Rise and Report.
Okay.
I'll just be a minute or two and then do you want to take a couple minutes before? So Vicky's saying 7:10. All right, am I okay to go ahead? All right, so the Rise and Report on 2 Industrial is that we provided direction to staff in closed session. And this brings us to our confirmatory bylaw, which is that bylaw 26-014, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Mississippi Mills at its regular meeting held on the 24th day of February 2026. Be read, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 24th day of February 2026. Mover and seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Holmes and Councillor Lowe. All in favor? Thank you. And adjournment. We are adjourned at 6:59. Thank you very much, everyone. And Vicky is saying 7:10. We'll get going again.